Okay, this is going to be kind of a technical video. This is for our past Moodle users that would like to continue to still use some of the quiz modules in Moodle. Moodle has an excellent quiz module, and right now Canvas can't do a few things that Moodle can do. And so if you want to continue using that for the time being until Canvas improves their quiz module, this is the way you'll be able to do it. The main thing that Moodle does that we really like is it has an automatic feedback thing, so I can set up like a set of questions, and someone can type in an answer and click check right next to it, and it'll go green if they got it right. So it's just automatic feedback to real-time feedback to see if they're getting something right. We don't really use those for grades, but it's really good for them to practice different possibilities. Right now, Canvas is supposedly working on that, but they have not got that done yet. So in the meantime, if I want to continue to kind of use my Moodle, but I want those grades to go into Canvas so that they go into PowerSchool, then this is my little workaround to do that. Eventually, all you'll do, it's not automatic, but eventually if someone takes a quiz or a test in Moodle, at the end of the day, a teacher will just be able to come here and click sync grades from Moodle to Canvas, and they'll go in. So that's a lot quicker than what we were going to have to do. So if you want to do this, then you need to watch this video. So the first thing I'm going to talk about real quickly is for some admins. So if you're just a teacher, you don't really have to worry about this. You can skip this part of the video. But for different admins, if you want this capability for your teachers, you need to go to my GitHub, and I'll put the link in at the bottom of this video later. You go to my GitHub here, and this repository Moodle to Canvas quiz sync is what you'll need to download. And so these files here in this folder, you're going to need to put like on your Moodle server or something like that, so that we can do it. So Moodle admin will open the config file inside this folder, and you'll have to add your Canvas address and your Canvas token. So you have to get a Canvas token from that. Then the Moodle admin will FTP this entire folder onto the Moodle server, and that's what you need to do. So once that's done, then teachers will have to do an initial setup on their end also, and then once they have that set up, then they'll never have to do anything again, and it'll be nice and easy. So the first thing that a Canvas teacher is going to have to do is you're going to have to go into your Canvas course and get your Canvas course ID, and you're going to have to put that into your Moodle course. So if I go, if I click on Canvas, I go to my courses, and I go like to maybe physics. Up here at the top in this URL, you'll see your Canvas course ID. So that's 850 for my physics one. So I'm going to copy that. And then you need to go into Moodle and go into your Moodle course, your corresponding Moodle course, and I'm going to edit my course settings. And I'm going to go down here, and if you scroll down, you're going to see a place. It says Canvas course ID. Now that's just mine because I changed the text language in our Moodle. Yours might say just course ID or something like that. And if you click on the little question mark, it says here you'll enter the Canvas ID number of your Canvas course that you want to sync the grades from this Moodle course into. Your Moodle might not say that, ours does. So right here you would just paste in your Canvas course ID number to match up the classes. That's the first step a teacher is going to have to do. And you can click save on that. Okay, the next thing I'm going to do is I have to go to every Moodle assignment that I actually want to sync. This is the big setup. Some of us have already been doing some kind of things like this, so this might not be a problem for some people, but anyone that has any assignment that you actually want to sync to Canvas, you need to put in an ID assignment number into that assignment. If you do not want it to go to Canvas, you need to leave it blank. So if I just come into some of these E-Labs here or something, I'm going to come down to like this one here, 7.4, and I'm going to edit the settings of this particular assignment, and I'm going to say I definitely want this grade to be going over to Canvas. So if you come down here, you're going to find another thing, and this Moodle is going to be different than other people's Moodles, but it says availability and Canvas sync. If you click on that, right here is a Canvas ID number. So you're going to put in a number or some kind of an ID in here. It does not matter what you put. You might want to think about what you put in case of like alphabetical stuff that might show up later, but it does not matter what. You just need to have something in here. If you have nothing in here, it will never sync to Canvas. If you do have something in here, it will sync to Canvas. So I had a kind of a nomenclature. I did an E7.4. It's ELAB 7.4. If I click on the question mark, it's going to tell you a couple extra things. It says if you want to sync this grade to your Canvas course, you must enter an ID. You can enter anything you want. It does not have to be the assignment ID of the activity in Canvas. So in Canvas, there's an assignment ID number that's irrelevant to this whole program. You just need to put anything you want into this one. Also, here's another little trick. According to best grading practices, any score lower than a 50% should be assigned a 50% value. To turn this feature on for this assignment, append an asterisk to the ID. Example, J1.1 asterisk. If you want the raw score, no matter how low, sent to Canvas, do not add the asterisk to the ID. So there's a little trick thing there. Some of you probably don't care about that. But if I wanted, let's say that they got a 40% on this assignment, when it syncs over to Canvas, and I want them to be just have a 50%. I don't want to have them like a super low F that they can never recover from. I would have to actually append a little asterisk onto my ID number, and that's a symbol that will say, hey, when you sync it over to Canvas, put 50% as the lowest possible grade that you're putting over. So if they got something lower than 50, it'll still put a 50%. I don't do that on these particular assignments. I do it on the major test. Okay. So that's the thing you have to do. That's a bigger thing. You got to put an ID number into every single assignment. Okay, the next thing is, one thing that you should have already done is you have grade categories and weights in PowerSchool that you imported into Canvas so that Canvas can speak to PowerSchool. So if you haven't watched that video, you're going to need to watch that video and make sure that happens. But another thing you have to do is you have to also put your grading categories in Moodle. Some of you probably have never done this part before. So you're going to click on your gear icon. You're going to go to Gradebook Setup. Gradebook Setup. There's actually a gradebook in Moodle. Probably none of our Moodle users have ever really even looked into it or used it. But in here, you have all your assignments and quizzes and everything. They're just automatically in here. They're probably all under one certain category. What you need to do is have your categories match what is in Canvas, which matches what is in PowerSchool. That's going to be important because when you do a sync for the assignments, it's going to have to know where to take this Moodle assignment and put it in Canvas. And the way it's going to know that is if it's in the same category. So whatever your categories are, I only have really 2 categories that are graded. Actually, I have 1 category that's graded. It's called Jedi Trials, and I put it as a weight of 1. You don't really have to worry about the weights in Moodle, but you might as well just go ahead and put them the same as they are everywhere else. So I have a couple other categories. I have Jedi Training, but it's 0%. But I do need to make that because it needs to put that the Jedi Training assignments into my Jedi Training category in Canvas. So here's gas programs. Here's some other ones that I don't really even sync because I don't have the ID number for any of these assignments in these things. But I do have ID numbers in these, even though they're not worth any part of the grade, because I do want those things to go into Canvas and I want them to see what they got on them, even though they're not worth any part of the grade. So you can just come down here and click Add a Category, type in a category, and you can put in the weighted mean too. And then if you want to move assignments around into a category, you can just select all the assignments you want to move, and then come down and do Move Selected Items To, and then select the category you want to move them in. But you need to have all of your assignments in the categories in Moodle, just like you have all the assignments in your categories in Canvas. So it needs to know where they are so that it can put them in there. So that's one thing you would have to do also. Basically, that's the last thing you would have to do. And once you have all that set up, so there's basically just a couple main things. You have to have your Canvas course ID in your Moodle course. That's an easy one-step thing. You have to put ID assignments in for every assignment that you want actually converted over. So that might be a bigger thing. You have to go through and put some kind of ID assignment into every Moodle assignment that goes over to Canvas. Then you got to make sure that your grading categories in your gradebook in Moodle match the grading categories in your gradebook in Canvas, which matches your grading categories in your PowerSchool. And once you have all that, you're ready to be able to sync grades over with one click of a button. I'm going to show that in the next video.